So what is the best holster for carrying your handgun? It's a question that a lot of us ask. How do you define best? Do you mean best quality? Do you mean best concealment? Do you mean most consistent grip? There's a lot of different things that can mean. And so today, in this video, we wanted to break down what we consider good handgun holsters and display those to you. Now, before we start, I just want to give a quick disclaimer. This is only our opinions, and we base these opinions on our day-to-day life. Okay, so we carry every single day. Some of these holsters that you see, we're going to see consistent use daily. In this video, we're also going to break down entry-level cheap holsters and go all the way up to the most expensive holsters that money can buy. Hopefully, by the end of this video, you'll have all the information that you need to be able to accurately choose a holster that you see fit. So let's get right into the video. We're going to start with inside the waistband holsters. Inside the waistband holsters are essential for concealed carry. They stay inside of your waistband, tucked away, perfectly concealed, just in case you ever have to use it. The first holster that we have up is this holster, a Bravo Concealment. This is the Bravo Concealment holster. At the time of recording this, it's around $35, $36 for exactly what you see here. A pretty standard, pretty basic holster. Now, whenever I purchased this one, which was several years ago, they didn't have a whole lot of customization options, and to this day, they still don't. Really, the only customization that you can add to this is a $10 wedge, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But the $10 wedge will help with concealment. However, just keep in mind, I don't have one on this particular holsters. What are the pros to this holster? Well, it's a holster. It safely carries your handgun. That's really pretty much the only pro to this handgun holster. As you can see, it is cut to accept an optic. However, that's probably not really done on purpose. I think it's just the style of holster. Now, this is a very cheap option. Why might this be a poor choice for you? Well, for starters, there is some cracking here on the tang. Looks like from the factory, I haven't touched these, but it looks almost like the screws that are holding the clasp on for your belt were screwed on a little bit too tight, and it's actually cracking the kydex. Not super great. The kydex is also relatively thin on this holster, and the real kicker is the lack of customizability for these holsters. These holsters hold completely stock bare-bone Glocks. That's it. You also really don't get any options if you want to add a light to your handguns. There is no way to customize this holster to accept a light. This is just what you get. So other cons with this are it's relatively inconsistent in terms of the draw. You'll see footage of me using this holster, and it's not much slower, but still a little bit slower than all of our other holsters. Any shift in your body movement can shift where the grip is sitting in your waistband, leading to a less consistent draw. The next cheapest holster we have is the Henry's holster. This one is particularly set up for a SIG P365. I purchased this holster specifically because I wanted a nice, small, sharp package for a concealed carry handgun, especially during the summer months whenever you're wearing shorts and a t-shirt. The Henry's holster is a decent upgrade from Bravo Concealment, but it's going to cost considerably more money, about double the price. These holsters are around $70. Now, this is a local relatively local Indiana company. Let's go ahead and take a look at the holster. The kydex on this holster is a little bit thicker, but not really by too much. This is the Flint Compact holster. So it's going to be made for these very small guns like Glock 43s, P365s, those sort of guns. It's a very simple and small holster. However, one huge upside that you get with this holster is the inclusion of the wedge. The wedge is going to be ideal for pushing the grip of your handgun back into your body so that this doesn't print, so that this doesn't stick out. You'll probably be able to see that pretty well in the video that's playing right now. The only issue I have with Henry's holster is, again, this particular holster has a lack of ability to add a light. It is going to be cut low enough where you can put an optic on it, but you're really going to have a hard time getting a light on your gun because you're not going to be able to carry it in this holster if you get a light. So just keep that in mind. Again, Henry's does make some other holsters that might suit that position better, but this particular holster will not accept a light, which is a huge negative, a huge downside. Other than that, you also can customize pretty severely the belt loops that you have. So this has pull tab belt loops. I'll let Connor go ahead and talk about the Trex Sidecar because that is coming in as our third holster.
Connor here. I purchased the Trex Arms Sidecar holster because my favorite holster company, Tier1 Concealment, had not yet released a P365X macro version of their holster. I wanted to put a light on it, the TLR7A. So I just went on to Trex Arms, saw their sidecar. I love their company as a whole. The holster works fine. It's not the most concealable holster right out of the box. You got to do a little bit, got to do some work to it. I love the concept of the holster simply because it is modular. You want a spare mag like I do, fantastic. If not, I bought, I believe, a tourniquet holder that I could replace the spare mag with. Right out of the box, the fork that holds your pants was not installed at the maximum forward position, and so it wasn't concealing very well. When I put it in my pants, it was poking out a lot, the grip was, so I had to reinstall it at the most forward position. Even then, it was sticking out fairly well, and I conceal every day. I had to go on to Tier1 Concealment's website and buy a pack of the wedges to go on the back. That really helped in the concealment of the pistol with the Trex Arms holster. I now wear that P365X macro to church every Sunday. It has replaced my Glock 19 style shadow systems. I've enjoyed the holster. I wish Trex also had an option for ulti clips because I would want something that could clip on to my pants and not my belt. And if I'm not wearing a belt, like I'm wearing basketball shorts, or I want to tuck in my shirt to my pants, you have to have ulti clips to hold on to the pants so you can tuck the shirt in. Other than that, like I said, for what it is, that holster has worked well. I am not going to be replacing it. I'm biased because I've been wearing Tier 1 for probably 3 years now, every single day, and so they've got my business for stuff in the future. But I love Trex. They make good kit. Really love their SD holster, the Ragnorok SD, but we'll talk about that in another video.
I guess I'll do a 1R1. Don't kill me, Lucas.
And finally, Connor and I both have the Tier1 Concealment holster. This is the slim. The one that Connor is using is the Elite, so just keep that in mind. These holsters are awesome. Now this is the highest price point. We've seen a $30, $36 holster. We've seen around a $70, $80 holster. This is going to be around $150 before you start adding on attachments to it. And I can say that it is pretty well worth the price. You have nice, thick, robust kydex. This is pretty substantial kydex, and it's pretty awesome. You also have a pretty substantial wedge on here, which you can very clearly see. It is a nice height, and it provides excellent concealability. Out of all the holsters we have, this is actually the best concealing holster just because of the way that it's set up. Even though you're carrying a lot more, you're carrying a gun and an extra magazine, you can still conceal it extremely, extremely well. This holster is also extremely customizable. You can get different color of kydex, you can get different color rope right here to hold everything together. And most importantly, and what we think is the coolest, is the different loops that you can get for your belt. So you can get traditional belt loop styles. You can even get a belt loop style like this. But what we really like are the ulti clips. Ulti clips are awesome. Essentially, as you can see, you put the clip around your garments, so shorts, really anything, and you press down on it and it stays in place, and it stays extremely well in place. So you can wear this holster without wearing a belt and still be able to draw, which is extremely awesome. You can wear this with gym shorts. It's truly pretty awesome. Not to mention that unlike all of these other holsters besides the sidecar, you do get an extra magazine holder, which is awesome. So you can carry a total of 30 rounds on your person fairly easily. This sits in here like this, and as you can see, you have a nice tall position to grab your magazine out of. It's absolutely excellent. You also can very heavily customize what style of light you want. So of course this holster is cut just like all the other ones for an optic. It's cut low enough for an optic. But you can put a light on it too, so you can actually distinguish what light. Now, of course, you're going to have to pick a specific light for your handgun and get the holster made for that light. That should be relatively obvious to anyone. But as you can see from not only the video, but also this breakdown, the more money you spend on a holster, the better concealment you get, and the absolute better quality and material you get, and the better comfort you get, which is extremely important, especially if you're going to be running a holster all day, every day, or even just sometimes. Although we do recommend you carry your gun every single day, having a nice holster will keep it secure on you, and it will also keep it comfortable on you. So for outside the waistband holsters, my go-to has always been the Safariland ALS. This is a 7730, I believe, ALS holster. Now, there are some big upsides and big downsides to this. I've used this as just a range holster on my belt. Obviously, it's an outside the waistband holster. I've been using this for probably about 1.5 years now, and it's relatively decent. So for starters, what are the pros to this? Safariland obviously is an excellent company. This is a very robust and durable holster. The kydex is very thick. It has nice padding on the inside to sort of protect your gun from holster wear as much as you can. And it has a very robust active retention system. So active retention means that essentially this gun is clear. I can put this gun in here, and unless I hit the button, I can't pull this gun out of the holster. It will not come out. So I have to simply press this button, and then that releases the gun so I can easily pull it out. So it's pretty sweet. As you can probably tell, this holster is going to get docked a point, essentially. If we were doing points, this holster is going to get docked because it's not cut for an optic. Of course, you can get ones that are cut for optics, but this particular holster is not cut for an optic. That's a real big minus, especially since red dots on pistols are becoming more and more commonplace. You can also get these customized to fit lights. I just don't happen to have a light on this particular gun, so there is that too. It provides excellent customizability, and honestly, if you want an active retention, this has been my go-to, and systems like this is just sweet. Our final outside the waistband holster. I was too lazy to take it off of my gun belt, so here it is. This is the Trex Ragnorok holster. This holster has no active retention. We'll talk about that. So, the Trex Ragnorok is a new addition. I've only been running it for probably 6 months or so, and it's pretty sweet. So, of course, Trex is a great company. Trex is a great company. They make very high quality stuff. This is very high quality kydex. Not only that, obviously, it's cut default for an optic, so you can have pistol optics, no big deal. And then you're also going to have varying light pattern setups that you can use on your gun as well. So this particular one is set up for the for my shadow. If you're curious, Trex does not specifically set up a holster for the shadow systems. You have to get a Gen 5 Glock 19 holster. Okay, so Gen 5 Glock 19 will fit the shadow system. So it has a TLR 7A on it, and it fits in this holster wonderfully. This holster is also on the Safariland mid-rise setup, so it's attached to the belt. It's dropped down a little bit, and I also have a Trex thigh attachment point here to essentially keep it strapped down in the same position. So far, I really like this. Now, of course, it's not going to be the best for everything. I like it as a range belt setup with no active retention. That means I can just pull this out. I don't need to defeat a retention button. I don't need to press anything. I can just pull it out. In terms of it being quicker, you're probably going to be able to see pretty easily that it is a little bit quicker than the Safariland ALS setup. So those are all the holsters that we have. Of course, this is something that is still continuing, that we're still continuing to test day after day after day. And if there's any updates, we will make those to the video, of course. Again, thanks for watching. If you're interested in any of these holsters, we have a link to our website below. We have compiled a list of all the gear that we used holster-wise and gun-wise in this video. So it's all compiled all together in one place in the description below. You can go there, and we have no affiliation. They're not affiliate links or anything like that. All you have to do is go there. You can click on whatever it is that you want to see, and you'll be transported directly to the site that will sell it to you. So it's just something that we thought would be a little bit easier for people who maybe want to find this setup. So of course, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.